All right, here we have the Chapter 3 practice quiz, so we'll walk through it real fast and see how this goes. All right, so questions 1 and 2 ask you to refer to this figure over here. So it says, first, number 1, which plane is parallel to the plane ABC? So first find plane ABC. So that's this front face right here, A, B, and C. So it does include point D as well. So it wants the parallel plane, so parallel planes do not cross, so that eliminates the one that has E, C, B, and F, as well as J, M, A, K, and top and bottom as well, which only leaves these back 3. And parallel planes have to run in the same direction. The only one that runs parallel to ABC is this back face here. So you would need any 3 of, let's see, that would be G, L, M, and H. So at least 3 of those. And that would be fine. All right, number 2, intersection of plane GLF, which is this one right here. There's G, there's L, there's F, so there's that plane. And EFB is this plane right here. So GLF and EFB meet at EF. So that's where they intersect. Okay, let's see here. So 3 through 9 refers to this image over here. Identify each pair of angles as alternate interior or alternate exterior, corresponding or consecutive interior angles. So 1 and 5. So first find 1 and 5. Now you're only working with 2 of these lines at a time. So if you're doing 1 and 5, you don't need that line right there. So there's angle 1, there's angle 5. So they are alternate because 1 is above and 5 is below. And they're also exterior because they're not in between the 2 lines. So 1 and 5 are alternate exterior angles. Got blurry there. All right, 7 and 10. So ignore that line. There's 7, there's 10. So they are not alternate. So that eliminates these first 2 choices because they're both to the right of the line. Corresponding means they're in the same position, which they're not. 7's in the lower right, 10's in the upper right, which means they must be consecutive interior angles. 6 and 12. So that's over here. So there's 6, there's 12. So they are alternate because they're on opposite sides. And they are interior angles because they're in between the 2 lines. And then, let's see here, 9 and 11. So there's 9 and 11. 9 and 11, they are not alternate because they're both on the same side, so that eliminates alternate interior, alternate exterior. They are actually corresponding angles because 9 is upper left, as is 11. Okay. Whoops. Didn't want to zoom in. There we go. Okay. So down here at the bottom, same figure, so it tells you that A is parallel to B and C is parallel to D and gives you the measure of angle 14, which is 80. So I'm going to go up here to my picture and label that one as 80. And then wants me to find those 3 angles, 15, 6, and 3. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a figure and just label everything that I know. So remember, corresponding angles are congruent. So if that guy's 80, so is 16, so is 8, and so is 6, because they're all the lower lefts. Adjacent angles have to add up to 180. So if that guy's 80, 100, 100, 100, 100. And then you actually keep working your way around. 12 and 13, for example, have to add up to 180. So then all these are 80s. And then lastly, these all have to be 100s. So then I can just go down here. So number 7 was angle 15. So angle 15 is 100. Angle 6 is right there, 80. And angle 3 is right there, oops, 100. All right, on the back side says find x and y in the figure. So you have this angle labeled as 4x plus 20, that angle is 12x, and that angle is 20y. So there's 3 possible options you can have. Acute angles are equal to each other, so 4x plus 20 is equal to 20y. Obtuse angles are equal to each other, so 12x, but you don't have anything you said equal to. And angles, one obtuse and one acute, have to add up to 180. Now, since there's 2 x values, I need to start with my x's. So I'll have 4x plus 20 is equal to 12x. Nope, sorry, I lied. 1 sub 2 is 1 acute, so they have to sum, they have to add up to 180. So combine your like terms, so that's 16x plus 20 is equal to 180. 16x is equal to 160, subtract the 20 across, then divide by 16, so x is 10. Now if I know x is 10, I actually know the measures of these angles. That's 12x, so this angle is 120. 4 times 10 is 40 plus 20, so this angle is 60. So now that one's an acute angle, as is the 60, so 20y has to equal 60, which means y must be 3. Divide both sides by 20. All right, 11 and 12 determine the slope. So this equation for the slope, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So for number 11, negative 3 minus negative 6 divided by 4 minus 5. So y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. So this is negative 3 plus 6 over 4 minus 5. So that's 3 over negative 1, which is negative 3. So down here you'll have y2, which is 8, minus y1, which is negative 12, over x2, which is negative 3, minus x1, which is 1. So that's 8 plus 12 over negative 3 minus 1. So that's 20 over negative 4, so that is negative 5. Do keep in mind that it's y minus y, x minus x. If you start with this y, you have to start with that x. You can't change your order in the middle of the problem. All right, and the last 3 here, are they parallel, perpendicular, neither? So remember, parallel lines have identical slopes. Perpendicular lines, the slopes are opposite and reciprocal, so you flip the fraction and change the sign, and neither is neither of those two. So to start, I need to find my slopes. So for the first one, for AB, it's going to be 4 minus 2, y minus y, over 2 minus 0. So that is 2 over 2, which is 1. For xy, it's going to be negative 5 minus 1, y minus y, 8 minus 2. So that's negative 6 over positive 6, which is negative 1. These two lines are perpendicular. These are opposite in sign and reciprocals of each other. If you flip 1 over, you get 1. It's kind of a special case because 1 is 1 over 1, and if you turn it over, it's still 1 over 1. All right, so for 14, AB is 5 minus 3 over 0 plus 1, because it's 0 minus negative 1. So that is 2 over 1, or 2. XY is negative 1 minus 1, negative 1 minus 1, over 6 minus 1. So that's negative 2 over 5. So these are not the same number. They're also not, they are opposites, positive and negative, but they're not reciprocals. So this one is neither. And then 15, for AB, you're going to have 4 minus 3, y minus y, x minus x. So once again, you're subtracting a negative, so that's why it's addition down here. So that's 1/5. For xy, you'll have, let's see here, y minus y, so 2 minus 1, and then 2 plus 3, 2 minus negative 3, so that's 1 over 5. Those numbers are the same, so that's parallel. Symbol for parallel looks like that. So up here, that upside down T, that's the symbol for perpendicular. And so that should get you through the review.